Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about a bunch of different leaks and data mines and rumors and all sorts of fun stuff like that that have been going on over the last month or so. I'm probably going to title this video like November Nintendo news or something with the word November, but this will probably reach back into October stuff because the last video I just did, the After Sora End of Smash speculation video, took me like a full month to actually get that one done. So there's been a bunch of news and interesting stuff I wanted to talk about, but that After Sora video was getting really long. It's like an hour-long video, and I didn't want to stick a bunch of extra stuff that didn't really have much to do with Smash into that video. So instead, I'm doing this sort of news roundup video, and maybe these will become a regular thing. I kind of like to hit news and interesting leaks and stuff in smaller videos as they happen, so they're more topical and relevant, talking about them the day they actually happen instead of waiting until a bunch of them pile up and doing like a news roundup video. But maybe every once in a while I will get behind on things and enough stuff will happen that maybe at the end of a week or something I'll just talk about a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not really sure what it's going to look like going forward, but for right now I got behind on a bunch of stuff, so I want to talk about it today. There are some newer things in here as well that just dropped in the last day or so. So there should be some stuff in here most of you guys maybe haven't heard about yet, but some of this stuff is a little bit older, but I just want to touch upon all of it. So that's what today's video is going to be, sort of a interesting things that have happened over the last month video. Okay, so first off, I did not have a chance to talk about the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. I talked maybe a little bit about it briefly, but a lot of people are complaining about the price of the expansion pack, which I totally agree with. I think when it was initially revealed, the way that they revealed it with the Happy Home Paradise DLC for Animal Crossing, I was like, oh, that's actually a pretty good deal because, I was factoring in how much that cost. But then afterwards, I took a look back at how much am I paying for the Nintendo Switch Online alone and saw the price jump. Yeah, it's pretty expensive for N64 and Genesis games, especially the small amount of them that we have right now, and the fact that a lot of those Genesis games you can buy, they have collections of Genesis games where I think you get even more games. So yeah, the price is pretty high for right now. I'm hopeful that the expansion pass will continue to do things like give you the Animal Crossing DLC. Maybe future DLCs will be free if you have the expansion pass for other games. So that would, I think, make it really worth it, and as they add more N64 games. I personally have yet to buy the expansion pack, basically because of the price. I still have Switch Online, but I didn't upgrade yet, mostly because I have no reason to play those N64 games. I own most of those N64 games. Probably down the road at some point, as they add more games, I will likely pull the trigger and actually get the expansion pack, but I haven't gotten it yet. I have also heard that the N64 emulation that's happening there isn't perfect. Something with the fog in N64 games doesn't emulate very well. So yeah, I guess it has some issues there. Some people are complaining about the look of a lot of the games. So I'm not itching to get the expansion pack. Again, I probably will down the line. I like the idea of playing N64 games on my Switch. I've wanted to do that for a long time, but I feel like there needs to be a little bit more for my money here. They need to add at least some more N64 games. Luckily, more games almost certainly are coming to the expansion pass. Obviously, we know more games are happening, but it looks like a lot of games may be planned already. There was a Nintendo Switch Online data mine, and there were at least 38 N64 games and 52 Sega Genesis titles in the data mine. So there's that many placeholders for spots, so that's probably how many games are planned already. So that's a good amount of games. As long as they keep rolling out games, eventually I will probably buy this expansion pass. And because of the data mine, it looks like, yeah, they're going to keep rolling out games. Now, obviously, we knew more games would be coming to this. They did that for the NES and Super NES Switch Online, and they showed us some N64 games that were yet to be shown. But knowing that there are a lot of them, like 38 N64 games planned, that makes me more confident that this isn't something that's going to trickle down after a while, and they'll go back to doing just like NES and Super NES games. They're going to do a lot of N64 and Genesis games yet to come. Also, when they showed us a preview of some of the future titles, they did show Banjo-Kazooie, and Banjo-Kazooie is, of course, a Rare game, which means it's owned by Microsoft, as Microsoft owns Rare now, but it's awesome to see that, yes, Rare games are going to be on the Switch Online. At least Banjo-Kazooie, we have officially, announced that that's going to happen. Zippo has been saying that more Rare games are coming beyond Banjo-Kazooie, so we already had rumors from a known leaker that, yeah, more Rare games are coming down the line, not just Banjo-Kazooie. That was pretty guessable, I feel like, but it's good to hear at least somebody with a good track record backing that up. But the really interesting thing is something going on with Goldeneye 007, which is, of course, also a rare game for the N64. So Goldeneye 007 got unbanned in Germany, and this was requested by Nintendo. So Germany has really strict laws regarding like censorship and stuff like that. Goldeneye is a somewhat violent game, so it was banned in Germany. However, Nintendo has requested Germany unban the game, which they have, which makes a lot of sense if Goldeneye 007, again, a rare game, is coming to the Nintendo Switch Online. This would make sense why Nintendo wants the game unbanned, and so the Nintendo Switch Online's library across all of Europe can be the same. Since they don't section off the Nintendo Switch Online based on country alone, it's regions, so it would make sense for them to say, hey, Germany, can we have Goldeneye 007 on the Switch Online? You guys have a ban on it right now. Can you unban it so that when we roll it out for the Switch Online, the German users don't have to have a whole different Nintendo Switch Online library? So yeah, this definitely points to Goldeneye 007, one of the best N64 games and a rare title, is almost certainly coming to the Switch Online at some point. I don't see any other reason why Nintendo, and not Rare, would be requesting the unbanning of Goldeneye 007 in Germany. Alright, and now some very recent news. This was yesterday. Nintendo of America tweeted, the last free update for Mario Golf Super Rush is available now. Take the green with newly playable characters Wiggler and Shy Guy. Plus, enjoy new courses and modes, including the new Target Golf. So they have 2 new stages there, and then 2 new characters, Wiggler and Shy Guy. And supposedly this is the last free update for Mario Golf. I don't know if that means that some paid DLC could still be in the works or happening down the road, but for now this is the last free update. They did specify this was the last free update, so maybe paid updates. I don't know. Or it could just be the last update for the game altogether. It's hard to say. Now, we did have this leak for Mario Golf a little while back, and it has been coming true somewhat. However, in the last update, they had Koopa Troopa, which was not one of the characters on this leak, and now they have Shy Guy, which is also not one of the characters on this leak. And if this is the last free update, maybe this other stuff could happen as paid DLC, but if this is the last update, obviously this leak was wrong. It just happened to guess a lot of the things that did happen, but missed some of them as well, like Koopa Troopa and Shy Guy. Speaking of Mario spin-off games getting DLC, apparently if you check the eShop page for Mario Party Superstars, they do have a little text that says offers in-game purchases, suggesting DLC boards or possibly more characters are likely coming to Mario Party Superstars. Mario Party Superstars is probably my favorite Mario Party in a long time, and it would be crazy of them not to do DLC for that game. So yeah, I was expecting some more boards, some more characters anyway, but apparently the eShop page sort of suggests that that will be the case, which is great. Anyway, speaking of stuff Nintendo of America has tweeted out recently, they tweeted this out the other day. It says, can you wait to bomb some Dodongos? Which is a reference to the CDI Zelda games. Nintendo never talks about those. So Nintendo generally avoiding officially recognizing the CDI Zelda games is interesting, but it's also interesting that they tweeted out this thing about bombing Dodongos randomly. I'm curious if Breath of the Wild 2 could maybe bring back Dodongos. Breath of the Wild was really lacking in the enemy variety department. That's one of the biggest complaints about that game, and Breath of the Wild 2 bringing back Dodongos and more classic Zelda enemies would be awesome. So I'd be really happy if this tweet was actually some sort of hint that more Zelda enemies are happening in Breath of the Wild 2. Or it might have just been a random tweet about Dodongos, but it's really weird either way that Nintendo actually acknowledged the CDI Zelda games as those are sort of a skeleton in the closet for Nintendo. Now, speaking of Breath of the Wild 2, Samus Hunter said this over on Twitter. The celebration for the 35th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda will continue at #TheGameAwards. Samus Hunter followed this up by saying, given the follow-up to the tweet, I want to specify a couple things. I don't currently know specific details about it, but here's what it could mean. Concert dedicated to the entire series, very likely. Trailer for the sequel to Breath of the Wild, collaborations with other games. So Samus Hunter is saying that something Zelda 35th anniversary will happen at the Game Awards, but what exactly the capacity of that will be, they don't know. Seeing Breath of the Wild 2 at the Game Awards does make a lot of sense to me outside of Samus Hunter's tweet here. Whether or not they're correct about whatever info they heard, I do think seeing something Breath of the Wild 2 at the Game Awards makes a ton of sense. Arlo summed it up pretty good in this tweet. They said, calling it now, Breath of the Wild 2 trailer and name reveal at the Game Awards next month. Now that Smash is done, it just makes too much sense. Way too many people forgetting that the Game Awards was literally where we saw the very first Breath of the Wild gameplay completely out of the blue. Another year they revealed the DLC. Anything could happen, but saying it's unlikely or impossible seems ridiculous to me. I totally agree. So last year at the Game Awards, we had Sephiroth revealed for Smash, but there's no more Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC. So if Nintendo has something big to reveal at the Game Awards, it would make a ton of sense for it to be something Breath of the Wild 2 related. Again, we still don't have the title of that game revealed, and we've seen very little gameplay footage. And it does seem like a lot of people forget how much Breath of the Wild was shown off at the Game Awards. That's where we got the Breath of the Wild DLC revealed to us. So showing something else Breath of the Wild as the big Nintendo reveal this year at the Game Awards makes a lot of sense. I feel like it's been a while since we saw Breath of the Wild 2 stuff at E3, and honestly my hype is sort of dwindling with such little information trickling out. The Game Awards giving us the title and some more gameplay footage would really help to hype up this game and help us all continue to be excited for it, as it's been a long wait to get this game. I'm sure as we get closer to the Game Awards, I'll do some video on my predictions for what we might see there, probably in December, like right before it happens. But yes, I am on board with all the other people who are guessing Breath of the Wild 2 will be shown at the Game Awards. I think that is very likely as well. I don't know for sure, but I do believe that will probably be the big Nintendo reveal at the Game Awards, will be something Breath of the Wild 2 related. Maybe the title, maybe the release date, maybe gameplay, maybe all three. Continuing down the Nintendo of America tweets, they said, "Hello troops, hashtag Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, which was set to launch on December 3rd, will now release for hashtag Nintendo Switch in spring 2022. The game just needs a little more time for fine-tuning. You'll be battling with Andy and friends soon. Thanks for your patience." I'm totally fine with a game being delayed if that means the game is going to be polished and a good experience and everything. So take your time, Nintendo, and we will play Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp when the game releases. So Nintendo announced the game was delayed, but they didn't give us an exact release date. They just said it's been delayed till spring 2022. However, the eShop page actually did give away the exact date for when Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp is being released. So once again, Nintendo is their own worst leaker. So over on Twitter, Stealth said Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp is launching on April 8th, 2022 per the eShop. This is a Friday, which is Nintendo's usual release day, so it makes complete sense. And yeah, if we take a look at that image of the eShop page, it does say estimated release date for 8/2022. So estimated release date, but that's probably what it's been pushed back to. I would assume April 8th is when the game will be released. So the other big news from Nintendo is that you can now download Twitch on the Nintendo Switch. That rhymes. Anyway, I've been waiting for Nintendo to add more streaming type services to the Nintendo Switch. I used to love watching Netflix on the gamepad for my Wii U, and I still can't watch Netflix on Nintendo Switch. So hopefully more of these streaming services will show up on the Switch. Disney Plus, I know, said they wanted to be on the Switch, but again, they're still not there. I think only YouTube and Hulu are on the Switch, and now Twitch joins that as well. I've wanted to start streaming gameplay regularly. As you can see, I just got a green screen, so this is pretty fun to play with. And that would be great for streaming, obviously. And I don't see too much of a reason to move over to Twitch as opposed to YouTube, but some people I know really like watching streaming on Twitch. I do have a Twitch channel, I've just never actually streamed on there. I've only streamed on YouTube, so I don't know what people would prefer, if I stay here on YouTube and stream, or if I move over to Twitch. Some people seem to prefer Twitch. Personally, feels like YouTube would just be the easier option, as I already have the fan base and everybody would know when I'm streaming and stuff like that, whereas moving over to Twitch means I gotta move all the people who watch me over to Twitch and make them aware that I'm streaming on Twitch. So I'll probably, if I do start streaming regularly, do it on YouTube at least at first, but if you guys really want me to do Twitch, I can move over there. So I don't know, you guys let me know in the comments below if you think I should just stream here on YouTube or move over to Twitch. Again, if I start streaming, it'll probably at least begin here on YouTube. And I do have these two rather new games, Metroid Dread and Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. As you can see, they both have the cellophane still. I haven't opened either of them. So I'm considering doing one of those as the first game I stream, and I'd probably do the other one just down the road. So leave that in the comments below as well. Do you want to see Brilliant Diamond streamed, or do you want to see Metroid Dread streamed as the first game I stream? Alright, moving on, Brawlhalla has announced that Street Fighter is coming to Brawlhalla. The characters are Ryu, Chun-Li, and Akuma. And over on Twitter, a couple people pointed out to me that the old Ubisoft leak I had for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming to Brawlhalla also said that Street Fighter characters would happen eventually, and that no Ubisoft rep was coming to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate in the second Fighters Pass. So yeah, looks like that leak I was told was true. We didn't get any Ubisoft characters in Smash Ultimate second Fighters Pass, and of course we did get the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Brawlhalla, and now Street Fighter characters also came to Brawlhalla. So that one was totally legit. So speaking of older leaks, Sakurai posted this image of this big scroll out of the full Super Smash Bros. Ultimate banner with all the DLC characters. I believe this is at some stores in Japan. I'm not sure the exact store brand that is putting these out, but it looks awesome. I'm really jealous of it because I totally want to get that full banner. At some point I'll probably order and get one for myself, but I'm still a little jealous that in Japan they actually have these pamphlets that scroll out and give you the banner right there. And now that we do have the full banner, someone made a mock-up of like a Grinch-style leak for this banner, as obviously the Grinch leak was supposedly the full banner art, and that's how we were guessing characters. So they just blurred the image of the actual banner from this pamphlet and put the LOL icon that was on the Grinch leak on here. And yeah, I mean, if this had popped out back in 2018 before the game happened and we were scouring this for which characters we might get, this would have been pretty much the equivalent of the Grinch leak. Actually, even more characters we actually ended up getting. And I'm not sure if we would have been able to figure out which characters were actually on here if this was the blurry image and an actual link for the full DLC of Smash Ultimate. Obviously, I don't even think back then all the DLC was even decided, so this wasn't even possible, but just theoretical alternate timeline. It would have been neat if this was the leak. Here someone outlined the characters we didn't know about at the time of the Grinch leak, so this is what we would have been guessing at. Some of them seem kind of obvious, like Banjo-Kazooie, Steve, Kazi I can pick out, Piranha Plant, but some of the other ones, like, I don't know if anyone would have guessed it Sora or Sephiroth. They just look like a blur to me. So yeah, it would have been really interesting if this was the banner we were zooming in on and trying to figure out characters for. Once again, pretty interesting that we actually ended up with more characters than the Grinch leak had on it at the end of all the DLC. It's really incredible. And then continuing on with Smash-like stuff, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl tweeted out, alternate costumes are coming very soon to #NickBrawl for free. To start things off, here's a better look at SpongeBob SquarePants. Stay tuned for more. And that's SpongeBob with the #1 soda drink hat from Schmitty Werben Jaegerman Jensen. They also continued this by tweeting out one of Michelangelo in his black and white, like, classic TMNT comic book look. So pretty cool. Alternate costumes are coming for free to Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. We knew about some of them from the Datamine of that game, and they are sorely needed when you play as the same character against the same character. You really need to be able to distinguish the two of them. Rep said some responses to this are making it out like this was something slapped together in a day out of panic. Bruh, if it was that fast/easy to do, the game would have launched with them. But licensed titles aren't ever that simple, so I can take solace in this finally seeing the light. So yeah, doing all these characters and portraying them probably in different ways, such as alternate colors, different hats, different costumes, stuff like that, is a licensing nightmare. The way you portray a character does have some legality stuff to it, and I'll probably talk more about this the next time I do a Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl video. I do plan on doing more Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl content, so I'll probably do that video soon here if the alternate costumes are happening, as I wanted to touch upon some other possible DLC characters we could get and what was happening with more of the Datamine stuff. So hopefully that video will show up pretty soon. Either way, though, very happy the alternate costumes are going to come to the game, and they're happening for free in a free update, and apparently that's happening very soon, so get ready for that. Also, right now, Target has their Black Friday deals, and Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is only $20. So if you're apprehensive about buying the game due to the price point, now might be the time to pick it up. It's only $20 at Target right now. So if we want them to do more for this game, I feel like the better the sales are, the more that will happen. So yeah, if you're apprehensive about the game being $50, go out and buy it now for $20 and at least bump up the sales numbers for this game, and hopefully the devs can continue to work on it and in time get it to a nice polished state that everyone wants it to be. Alright, moving on, there's a rumor right now that Chrono Cross, the sequel to Chrono Trigger, may be getting a massive remake soon. Saku on my Discord wrote, it was rumored earlier this year that a big PlayStation remake was in production. This is reported to be the game Chrono Cross, the sequel to Chrono Trigger that released on the PS1 in 1999. Chrono Cross Remastered was also listed on the NVIDIA leak. Reportedly, the game is multi-platform instead of a PlayStation exclusive, but Sony is announcing the game. So yeah, if you remember the NVIDIA leak, which GeForce confirmed but said the list was speculative, but it did have Chrono Cross on there. So a lot of people were already thinking that Chrono Cross could be getting a remaster. And now these further rumors seem to suggest that could be the case. I'm pretty excited about that. I actually really like Chrono Cross. I don't think it's the best sequel to Chrono Trigger. I like Chrono Trigger better, but I still really liked Chrono Cross. I remember being blown away by the opening cinematic to that game back in the day, and the music was pretty good and stuff, so I'd be all about this game getting a remake or remaster or whatever it is. I would assume it might get announced at the Game Awards. Again, that's the next big place to announce games, so I would assume maybe that's where we'll see it. Chrono Cross gets a lot of bad reputation as being not the best sequel to Chrono Trigger, but it's still a really good game, and I have a lot of fond memories of it. So going back to this game, playing as Surge again, I think would be pretty cool. I'd be pretty excited about it myself. So some other rumors I've seen floating around. Recently, I've been hearing that we might get a trailer for the Sonic 2 movie on Thanksgiving. Apparently, this is coming from Paramount Pictures themselves, who tweeted Happy Thanksgiving when someone asked about a reveal date for the movie. I was actually shocked at how much I liked the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie, so I'm pretty excited for the sequel, and yeah, we could be getting a trailer or some Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie news on Thanksgiving, so keep an eye out for that. Speaking of video game movie news, IGN wrote a solo Donkey Kong movie is reportedly in the works with Seth Rogen, set to reprise his upcoming role as the iconic Nintendo character. So Seth Rogen was announced to be playing Donkey Kong in the Mario Brothers movie, and now there might be a spin-off from the Mario movie with Seth Rogen reprising his role as Donkey Kong in a Donkey Kong movie. The Nintendo theme park part of Universal Studios Japan has a Mario section, and the next one is a Donkey Kong section, so it would make sense for Nintendo to make a Mario movie and then follow it up with a Donkey Kong movie. Those do seem to be the two big Nintendo franchises that Nintendo is pushing for the mainstream audience anyway. So again, Mario movie, and then a Donkey Kong movie, and then having the theme park have a Mario world and a Donkey Kong world as the first two makes a lot of sense. And speaking of the Universal Studios Nintendo parks, apparently Pokemon is getting one in Japan as well. So yeah, pretty cool. Pokemon also jumping on board here. I hope that we can start getting these over here in the States, and I'll be able to someday go to a Nintendo theme park, as that's sort of a dream. Speaking of Pokemon stuff, apparently Pokemon Legends Arceus, or Arceus, I never know how to say it, is not going to be as much of an open world game as previously assumed. Kotaku reported this and said the Pokemon Company has sent Kotaku a statement confirming the Monster Hunter-esque structure of Pokemon Legends Arceus. In Pokemon Legends Arceus, Jubilife Village will serve as the base for surveying missions. After receiving an assignment or a request and preparing for the next excursion, players will set out from the village to study one of the various open areas of the Hisui region. After they finish the survey work, players will need to return once more to prepare for their next task. We look forward to sharing more information about exploring the Hisui region soon. So the game might not be fully open world. It seems like it's probably going to be sectioned off, and you'll start off in these kind of base camp villages and then get sent out into the more open world part of the game. Still probably a lot more open world than your typical Pokemon adventure. Also, they revealed the new Hisuian Zoroark and Zorua, so there's some more region-specific Pokemon, which is pretty cool. Before they revealed these two Pokemon, they did this sort of found footage, kind of scary Pokemon reveal, which was really cool to see the Pokemon Company doing something a little bit more mature with that found footage, creepy introduction to these Pokemon. The description for them says, reborn as a ghost type using the power of spite, these Zorua migrate to the Hisui region after being driven from other lands by humans, who shun the Pokemon for manifesting uncanny illusions. But the Zorua perished, unable to survive the harsh Hisuian environment and strife with other Pokemon. Their lingering souls were reborn in this ghost type form through the power of their malice towards humans and Pokemon. That is a dark description for this one. Cursed illusions erupt from its voluminous coat. The spiteful power emitted from Hisuian Zoroark's long, withering fur projects terrifying illusions, and it can also inflict physical harm upon foes, damaging their bodies from both inside and out. And the illusions that baneful fox Pokemon projects have expressions of such utter malice towards every last thing upon this world that those who see them are said to be driven mad by the terror. So that pretty much explains why they revealed these Pokemon in this creepy found footage trailer. And I'm happy to see the Pokemon Company going towards more mature themes, especially for Legends Arceus, which might be, this big semi-open world Pokemon game that I think the more mature fans are excited for. So hopefully this is a good sign towards the direction the Pokemon Company is taking the Pokemon franchise. And then just a few more things before I wrap this video up. Hori announced the SplitPad Pro will be getting a plug-inable controller dock to turn their SplitPad Pros into just controllers, because you can only use them in handheld mode as of right now. I don't know if this is actually coming to the West or if it's going to be Japan only, but I'm pretty excited about it, as I have a Pac-Man SplitPad Pro, and that's pretty much what I exclusively use my Switch in handheld mode with. And I would love to be able to use these controllers as a, plugged-in controller when I have the Switch in docked mode as well. So I don't know if anybody out there also uses the SplitPad Pro, but I would strongly recommend it. I love the grip of it. I love the larger buttons and everything about it. My one complaint is that I can't use it as an actual controller, and that it doesn't have the gyro mechanics, I guess would be another complaint. I don't really mind it not having the amiibo functionality, because I can always just swap on a Joy-Con and do the amiibo real quick. I never am doing amiibo while I'm playing the game, so the gyro is probably the big thing, and not being able to use it as a separate controller. But this fixes one of those issues, the not being able to use it as a separate controller. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one myself. And then the final thing I want to talk about today is something that happened a while ago we were discussing, and it actually got answered. It got answered, I think, like a couple months ago, and I just never had a chance to actually talk about it. Do you remember that picture of Reggie from Retro Studios? Kind of gave him this picture as like a going-away present, and when we saw the picture, there was a Mario statue in front of some character down there that has like a little robot hand. You can see the character waving from behind the Mario statue, and we had no idea what character that was, and everyone was trying to figure it out if it was some Retro Studio game that was yet to be announced, and no one could figure out who the character was. So this mystery may have finally been answered, kind of. So Nintendo Life reported this, and it says, Reggie confirms that he did put that Mario statue there on purpose because he didn't want anyone to know what this character was. Nintendo Life said, we even ran a story about it at the time. In it, Reggie is surrounded by characters from Retro's games, however, one is hidden away behind a Mario statue, and it kind of looks like a robot. If you've been wondering about it at all, Reggie has now elaborated on what it is during a special AMA, Ask Me Anything, fundraiser. He also mentioned how his placement of the statue in front was also on purpose. Here's what he had to say courtesy of GameXplain. He said that wouldn't show the portrait, but he did say this character was a personal, sentimental drawing of a character that the Retro Studios team did for him. And the president of Retro, Michael Kelbaugh, who is a good friend of Reggie, made him promise not to show it to anyone because it had an inside story that he's committed to secrecy about. So apparently, yes, Reggie did cover up this character on purpose. It is some special sentimental character they added there for Reggie himself, and it's some inside thing with Retro Studios. That might not actually mean it's a character for some future game or something. It could be some character that, for whatever reason, has like an inside joke with Reggie. Maybe Reggie drew the character at a meeting or something. Maybe Retro Studios was suggesting characters for some past game and Reggie laughed at it or something. It's probably just an inside joke between Retro Studios and Reggie, and they don't want that one revealed to the public. Alright guys, well that's everything I wanted to talk about today. Lots of past news stuff is just built up, and again, maybe I'll start doing these news roundup videos if more news ends up building up that I don't talk about, but I'd rather probably hit each of these subjects as they happen in shorter videos. So I think from now on I'm going to try to do short, brief take videos on interesting leaks and rumors and data mines and theories and everything else as they happen, so they're more relevant in the time. But if I end up getting behind, or a lot of stuff happens in a week and I just don't happen to make videos on it, maybe I'll start doing these big news roundup videos where I go over lots and lots of stuff that's happened over time. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you guys next time. If you have any thoughts or comments about any of the stuff I talked about in this video, leave them below.
Remember to like the video, leave a comment in the section below, and subscribe to Papa Gino's
Twitter, Patreon, Discord.